glad you talk about reaching out, because one way you can reach out is through context. A lot of people suck at context. Let me just keep it real.
Yeah, man.
You always got a song like "Big Ass Pussy," something like that, or "Money Phone" or something like that.
Right.
But a person who will make you think is a person that can keep a crowd. When we were in school, I don't remember if you remember this, because when we were in school, Jersey was going through a big education change in the 90s, because Black history was real big.
Right.
And it was always called, when we were in school, your first sentence had to be the statement that brought everybody in.
Gotcha, yep.
I could tell in school you were a writer.
Most definitely.
Because some of the things that you say, and even the things that you title your albums or projects, are real eye catchers. I want to talk to you about two projects in particular.
Sure.
Because there's two projects that really stood out to me that made me go, wow. Matter of fact, there's three, but I want to harp on two. Tell me about Damaris, because that's a real good project. Like, I really like Damaris.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. That's out of respect to my mother, passed away 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I wanted to keep her name alive, basically. So I didn't want to put a damper on people's spirits, making a whole, 5 songs about my mother. I didn't go in depth like that or nothing like that, man. I had one song at the end, tribute to her. You got title of the album, of course. And then as we spoke earlier, I got sneakers with her name on them, you know what I'm saying? Hoodies, everything, all types of memorabilia, candles, you name it. Like, I really went heavy on promoting my mom, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to her. But yeah, that had the 38 special on it. And that's my first project that I really invested money into. And I got the best results out of it too, so let that be a learning.
What works for that project is, this is why I say hip hop doesn't have a lot of artists, it has a lot of participants. Have you not seen the rise of projects coming out with people? It's like a mixtape where everybody just puts songs on it and there's no direction.
Yeah, man, it's all playlists now.
You opened this album up with Mahalia Jackson, so that took people to church at the beginning to let them know that this was going to be something heartfelt yet meaningful.
Right.
Then as the tracks come on, my first one that I know, In the Air. Now listen, yo, In the Air is impactful. I love that song.
Thank you, brother.
Salute to you for making that.
Thank you.
I don't want to go through the songs with Lit Green and everything else. I wanted to stick on those two and the outro, because I think concept albums are the albums that mean the most.
Right.
Like, when we think of concept albums, we think of like Ready to Die, There's a Dark Side, Muddy Waters. I can't even say what kind of Illmatic, but like Little Brother, The Listening and stuff like that.
Right.
Those are complete, they're like movies. They're complete thoughts that go through every song, and everything's perfectly or purposely placed. Where do you place Damaris in your career? Is it a defining come up? Is it a redefining of who you are, or is it the opening of a door to the next chapter of your development?
Both. Definitely both. It's a defining point musically, because that's when my direction changed. Once I, took a note to the acceptance that was received, that I got from that album, that's the direction I've been in primarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't really changed too much. So, yeah, man, it's definitely been impactful, that album. Definitely. It got me to where I am now. I rhyme the way I rhyme now because of that album. Like, I think before then, my direction really could have been anywhere, to be honest with you. I was just trying to get heard. I really didn't have a plan, or a good one, I should say. I always had a plan, you know what I'm saying, since my resurgence in 2013, because, I'm from the cassette era. I had music on cassettes, you know what I'm saying, like pressed up, out vinyl, all that from the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people go to my catalog now and think I just started rapping in 2013. Well, my first project, is basically like 10 years old, and it's like all my mixtape work and stuff I did prior, you know, like revised on that project. And I think my first 2 projects were like revised material. You know what I'm saying? So after that, which by the way, I'm like 15 projects in now since 2013. So I've been working.
Respect to you, and shout out to Miss Damaris. You know, 'cause at the end of the day, when you lose a parent, life does open up for you. I lost my mom a couple years ago.
Okay.
And like, that's been like the most defining thing, because now it's like a part of you gone, so how do you honor the part that's not there anymore?
Right.
Shout out to my man Stress. He just lost his mom. And
yeah, man.
Stress rhymes, he makes beats, you know what I'm saying? So now that his mom takes a more spiritual tone, I want to see where his direction goes, because you said Damaris was the turn in your next journey in hip hop, right?
Right.
Pappy and Arthur showed me the direction you changed, because even your cover art changed. That is a very European cover art, where the skyline and you got like the angel, you know what I'm saying? And
that's
like
a French background. The dude is a French sculpture of a soldier, a French soldier or whatever. And yeah, man, we actually put that together ourselves, Arthur and I.
Shay New.
Yeah, man.
Talk about it.
I needed something. I was at a point, because believe it or not, that was like actually like the last song I recorded on that album, I think.
Interesting.
I needed something tough. I felt like it was missing something. And, like I wanted to keep somewhat of the direction that I was going with the Damaris project and, the Audio Caper project. I didn't want to smooth it out too much. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The Pappy and Arthur project was actually a tribute to France because of the love that they've shown me. You know what I'm saying? Or not even to France, but to the French. You know what I'm saying? Because I got Canadians who show mad love. So I just wanted to make an album to Haitians, Canadians, anybody who's representing, their red, blue, and white over there. You know what I'm saying? So, I get mad love from them. So I plan on going out there one day, man. Yeah.
Just do something for me, please.
I got
This
you.
is something I really want.
Got you.
Black excellence, and if you want, right? I would love to see you, even if you don't do a whole video, get a French soccer jersey and just spit. That will go so long, because
I'll definitely consider that, brother.
Because the thing about the album, what you just told me, is this: Westside Gunn and them changed the way album art is considered art now.
Right.
And that hasn't been in the game since the GZA did it, Wu-Tang did it, Cash Money did it, Suave House did it.
Right.
The cover art really meant something. And on this project, the cover art was like, okay, this is like otherworldly. Because our world is more of the block. But if you could take someone's visual outside the block, then you start to open their minds to the concept of hip hop.
Right.
What do you think is the main visual that makes hip hop peaceful to you, not hood apparent as everybody else?
Being different from what I see, like I have an appreciation for, sometimes I don't like my covers, but then sometimes I, do appreciate my covers because they're not like everyone else's. And you see a lot of black artists with these white depictions on their covers, and like I'm totally against that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm black and I'm working with another black producer or whatever. Like, I don't represent that. You're not gonna have that. Griselda did that already, and you know what I'm saying? Like, these people did that, and it's just a flood in the sea of all these other people biting and just or if you want to say carrying the torch, whatever. But that's not my cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's done that already, and they made a big enough name to where I feel like I'm biting if I do that. So, you know, I'm not doing that. That cover in particular, you know, like I work with a white guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. So, you know, that's kind of how you have that. Like, you know, that's me wanting to pay tribute to France. But if you look at my other work, the last cover, Audio Caper, you know, that's, I'm not going to remember this guy's name now, but it was based off a murder situation or whatever, a guy convicted of murder, and, you know, the story was deep. Avery, I'm not going to remember his last name, but I have to get back to you in that part 2 of the series, but yeah, man, all my covers are different, meaningful, whatever. Shout out to France. That we had a bunch of covers first, and that one made the cut. You know what I'm saying? And it's more realistic. I think, you know, that's a background in France, obviously, and then we blended the sculpture in there with it or whatever, which was originally like my idea. It's a combination of our covers that we both had or whatever, basically, in a sense. So
that's dope.
Yeah, man.
But see, the look is also the thing that introduces you to the sound. Look at Illmatic. Oh, beautiful album cover. You know what is a crazy album cover? BDP, Sex, Violence.
I don't remember that.
That's the one the white guy holding the stripper by the butt, and they had all types of stuff like a cartoon.
Up, man.
It's the one with 13 and Good on it.
I definitely remember the song. Yeah, I don't remember the cover.
See, I see, like, when I'm as a hip hop fan, I love album covers. I like liner notes. I like the beat.
Gotcha.
I really get into this stuff because hip hop MCs are our next generation's Zora Neale Hurstons, Langston Hughes', James Baldwin's, Martin Luther King's, Malcolm X's, Fred Hampton's. Our beat makers are our new Tito Puente's, James Brown, Sam Cooke, Scott Joplin.
Right.
Even the dancers, like everybody is a continuation of greatness.
Right.
And you seem to take your greatness to a level where you want people to think, reflect, and enjoy. Hair Like Wool begins like that with the cover art. What the hell are you looking at that's putting light on your face? Because that has a lot of meanings.
Yeah, that's... You know what? Yeah. So, I had somebody do that. Shout out to 13 cover art. The original picture, I was in a car, and, you know, I was looking up, and I kind of made like my own, you know, post or picture with that or whatever, and I sent it to him, and I wanted him to jazz it up. The quality wasn't good. So, got a new phone. I wanted that same look. Tried to redo it, couldn't do it. Ended up finding another picture where I'm looking up, but I had the sunglasses on. But I think I'm in the car, and that's the light beaming from the sunlight.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so, you know, like, he did his magic to get that.
But see, that's the point. Like, that's the for people, especially who like studies like science. You know, that's an Illuminati picture. That's like an illumination picture. It's like I'm looking towards the light. So it's like, and he got shades on. So it's like, what are you looking at? That's deep. And then we go into songs like The Kelm, which is fucking dope.
Thank you, brother. Yep.
The Kelm was like when that beat dropped.
Nicholas Craven produced that.
Even lit, be like, yo, sorry, I ain't even on this with you.
Yeah,
bro, like,
that's
yo,
my guy, man. That's my Raekwon or my Ghostface. So, you know, not having him on my project, I felt some kind of way. So I reached out to him last minute, like, bro, you gotta say something on him. Get you on here some type of way. So we did that for me. Shout out to him, man. That's my brother.
Now the Kelm made their first song, Hair Like Wool is.
Hair Like Wool.
But Hair Like Wool is like, ooh. And then the Kelm is like, ooh, because even the beats change the dynamics of the rhymes. All I'm gonna say is when I heard the first 2 tracks, I was just like, oh, he reaching. But what the hell is he reaching for? Cause it's right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you know how you see the hand come out and you're like, damn, what is he gonna grab? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You lyrically attacked those tracks like you was a bastard who was angry. Where did those beats take you, and what did you want those beats to bring out of you?
Exactly what you got out of that, man. I mean, I was just hungry on Hell Like Wool, and I needed a title for this album, and you know, it just took me back to that first song and that first, you know, that first line. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was my first song that I did for this project, so I think, you know, it made sense at the end of the day. I'm kind of torn between keeping my beard and not keeping my beard, going through all this gray and all this stuff, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, hair like wool, man, you know what I'm saying? Like 5%er, you know what I'm saying? So it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm God, you know what I'm saying? That's what I represent, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get the wool, you know what I'm saying?
Hair like wool is
no shame.
Very spiritual term. That's the term of the Son of God.
Right.
Who's also called the Son of Man.
Right.
Right? So like I said, it's the duty of the civilized to teach the uncivilized. And through civilization, we get knowledge, wisdom, or understanding.
Right.
But even with that, a lot of people miss insight because there's a purpose. What is the purpose of Hair Like Wool before we finish the album out?
Oh, with that particular song?
Period. The whole thing. Whatever.
Oh, let people know, man, I'm the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what hair like wool. That's a, you know, like, I understand that, you know, it's a biblical term or whatever, and that's, you know, I wanted to have a double entendre for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's my beard. You know, it represents me not caring or being ashamed of my age and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I spit. And then you have the biblical message, hair like wool, you know, you were probably a man of color, you know what I'm saying, back then or whatever, and you had, you know, you had your shit growing out. I'm almost speaking at the bottom because I ain't got no hair up top, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, we had hair like wool, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We the original people, so I just wanted to represent that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get too in-depth in my projects, you know what I'm saying? You probably won't get the most out of 5 songs like that, but I'm starting to open up. I'm starting to give people more, and yeah, man, I mean, that's like the start, you know what I'm saying? Hair Like Wool is the start to more things to come, where I'm like opening up more, and you'll get a little more, you know, from me, a little more substance, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to tracks with substance like that, I usually get deep with Lit, you know what I'm saying? Because he's more of that type of person, Lit Green, where I'm more of trying to be a spitter and prove I can beat you lyrically or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I link up with him, he calms me down, he gives me some content, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? He has me very mindful of a balance when I do my projects. You know what I'm saying? It was another reason why I like having him on my work.
Facts. Shout out to Money Zoe.
Shout out to Money Zoe.
We had a great interview with Money Zoe.
Yeah, I did. Word up.
And seeing him on 2 other songs on this project really made me think, all right, so are we going for that trendy sound? Because the Money's always trendy. That man's he's gonna blow. I could tell, because he has a sound that's inviting. And when I heard C'est La Vie, I was like, okay, you know, the hook is kind of live, you know, and even on my lecture, yeah. And that is different than what I've heard from you previously. So now that you're growing, and that's a label mate.
Label mate.
Okay, so now that y'all growing and you have a team behind you that's actively participating in your growth and your delivery, how did his influence on the track help you see more within yourself?
By the response, you know, people really liked that. When we did it in the studio, which was spontaneous, you know, like, That was not a plan. Neither one of those songs were planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, the album was pretty much done, and I wasn't gonna have any features on it. But you know, Money's Over's in the studio. He wanted to be on it. He wanted to add a verse to one of the songs, but you know, that didn't end up happening. But I did get him on the hook, and it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. So he wanted to do another one. We were just vibing, you know what I'm saying? So it worked out, and I'm glad it, I'm glad to be a part of it. It just added more spice to the album. It's, so it's not a dark, a dark album. You know what I'm saying? It is some life to it. Like, I think I gave people 5 different songs. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I intended to do.
But you stick to the script for the people who really follow you. Mm-hmm. And what you did was you ended it off with a message: the custodian and the treasurer. Mm-hmm. Before I go into that, shout out to the custodian of records. It's my brother too. Shout out to him. First time I met him was at the event.
First time I met him.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the custodian of records. But the custodian and the treasurer. That title alone means a lot. And then to see who did the record, that's crazy. Right. Why don't you explain that track for me, and let's end off on a high point on this part of the episode.
It's not even deep, man. I just wanted, a jazzy name. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that made sense. And, he's the final cut. I think it was the final beat I selected. It was like, oh, I forgot. I got to put Custodian of Records on it. Like, most definitely. I think I have the most beats from him anyway, so it made sense. I definitely had to throw him on there. Our last project was Fire with Shay, so I definitely wanted to do something else with him. So this particular album, I did like 4 songs in one day, like not just recording. I actually wrote 4 songs between that night and morning before I went and recorded, man. Like, I was just on one, but I wanted to get a project done, so I just did a lot of brainstorming. By the time I got to Custodian of Records, I felt like I was running out of gas, so to speak, but I got it done. It was a fight, but like anybody who listens to that song, it took a lot for me to get that done. You know what I'm saying? But we made it work, man. Word up. I exhausted me talking about that. It was so...
Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.